it be an evening star shines down upon you.
Okay, hello everybody again. My final evening at IWAS, so this is going to be interesting. They're letting me out tomorrow, and I've got three options. I can either get a ride into town with a changeover, which happens at 7 a.m, or I can get a ride in with a changeover that happens at 7 p.m, or I can call someone to come out and pick me up. And I don't really want to bother someone to come out and pick me up. I would choose Ilea, my daughter, but I don't really want to bother her on her Sunday because she's got a very full-on week, and so is her partner, and with little my grandchild. So I let them have their Sunday to themselves, and I might pop over and whatnot. But I've decided I'm going to go in the morning, which means I'm going to have to wake up super early, unlike today where I went to bed at about 11:30 last night, and then for some stupid reason couldn't get to sleep until about 2. And then when I finally nodded off, my brain's decided, okay, 2 o'clock, your time starts now, you're getting 8 hours sleep. And I got woken up at 11:15 by one of the staff members saying, are you going to wake up today? And I thought, 11:15, oh fuck! Jumped out of bed, shot through the shower, and then by then it was lunchtime, wasn't it? Not breakfast. So I felt a bit embarrassed. But in the end today has just been a wind down, sort of self-reflection. It's just been a very good day of just winding down, taking stock of what's happened to me in the last 8 days of being here. One of the patients this morning went off to the hospital because he needed to be there, so it was just myself in the facility, which is rather bizarre, going from 3 patients down to 1, and you're the one. So it was kind of weird having a staff member here, and I've sort of got my own staff member on call, and I'm by myself, and what am I doing? So anyway, I ended up having a very good talk with one of the male staff members, and if he watches this later on, he'll know who he is. But I got a very detailed background of where he came from and what his life was like, and God, I thought I had a hard upbringing. It just put things into perspective. To come from the background he has and gone through such hard times. He comes from Africa, and just some of the things that have happened to him before he even got to Australia, I couldn't even imagine going through that as a child. And here he is, a support worker, and I'll tell you what, he is top notch. The amount of care, compassion, empathy, and love that goes into what he gives patients here is amazing. And the thing is, all of the staff do that. And I can only imagine some of the life stories and the background stories of some of the other staff members here as well. And then think of the journey they've made to get to being a carer, a clinical nurse, a support specialist for people like myself that are trying to detox and trying to deal with my life issues. And my life issues are nothing compared to, say, what some of these people have gone through. yeah, it's kind of humbling to know that I've got people that are looking after me that really make my life history look like a privileged white first world golf course latte sipping background. And yeah, it's kind of humbling. But anyway, after that, what else did we do today? Oh yes, my story, or my motivational bit to go on the wall. I gave it to the nurses on duty last night and just said, "Oh, look, have a read through it. Tell me what you think. See if I need to condense it. What do I need to do to put it up on the wall because it's a bit lengthy for what everyone else has put up." They all loved it. They said it was a very good storytelling, and that I should be writing more stories. And I said, well, I haven't written stories since I left school. I might have done exceptionally well in English, especially when it came to creative writing or prose. That was my forte, but I haven't really even bothered dabbling into it since, and never even really thought of it until the other day when I decided that I was going to do something a little tiny bit different to what's up on the wall, because that's me. I don't like following the crowd. I do follow the crowd for, a little bit, but generally I try to also be a bit of a black sheep, and I find the people that I hang around aren't the cookie cutter molds of whatever social circle they're in. So when I'm hanging around my motorcycle friends, they're not the generic motorcycle people that you would expect. Some of them are a little bit eccentric. Some of them are just totally left field. When it comes to my cricket friends, they're probably a little bit the closest towards what you would call a generic cookie cutter type of person that would play cricket and whatnot. But some of them are still out there, and yeah, that they break the mold too. But when it comes to my online friends, my gaming friends, and etc., those guys are left field. They're out there, and the great thing about the gaming community is it's very accepting. If you went into Call of Duty and you're sitting in Call of Duty lounge, etc., and you got all your 12-year-olds yelling and screaming obscenities about your mum, well, no, that's your cookie cutter childish behaviour that goes with those games. But because I play more, I play World of Warships, World of Tanks, mainly, and I played a lot of World of Warcraft. I've cut that out because it's a time sink, but those games attract much more of a mature audience. So yes, while there is the odd 15-year-old, we have one in our clan, you actually wouldn't have known he was 15 until he admitted his age, because he actually does act a lot older and a lot more mature, very well spoken, articulate, etc., and not your typical 15-year-old. So the rest of my clan and most of the other people playing that game are generally 35, 40 plus, and you'll find quite a few of them, not a vast number, but some of them are ex-servicemen, usually ex-Navy if they're in World of Warships. So what you've got is a very accepting crowd. So just because someone comes, you invite someone in, and you just take it on face value that you're going to help them, you're going to show them the ropes, show them around. They'll join in. You don't even bother questioning their background, where they come from, how old they are they married, do they have kids, what do they do for a living. None of that matters. If they want to share that, they share that. Some of us do. but by and large, it's just you're accepted, you're part of the group, and whatever eccentricities you've got, we just fold that into the mold that we've got and work with it. And generally, you just have a lot of fun with that. And there's people known to do certain things, and you know that can get crazy. Close. We got this one guy that he's all or nothing. He just charges in, and he's just known to be the first to die. And, you know, and and when he doesn't die, the funny thing is he's then usually the last to die. So it's all or nothing. And this guy will have spent the entire game on the front line, all guns blazing. And we just expect him to die. So when he doesn't die and goes on and he's the last man standing and he wins us the game, you just go, mwah, well done. And we all have our laugh, and it's great. It is what it is. So what I'm trying to say is, tomorrow when I get out, 'cause I digress so much. It's just my train of thought just goes boom, 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 and it just doesn't follow a linear path at all. But when I get out tomorrow, I want to go out on the early trip. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to put on all my armoured gear and I'm going to go riding, because it's been, let's see, Wednesday of last week since I last threw my leg over my motorbike. And actually, no, it would be the Tuesday night of last week, not the Wednesday, because the Wednesday is when I went into the hospital. And of course, you know, I called a taxi to go and do that. So my poor motorcycle's been very neglected, and every time I look at a picture of it on my phone, I just get this feeling. Definitely needs to be ridden. But after that, my next thing is I'm definitely going to pay a visit to my princess and get hold of my key card. I need to make sure that she's definitely withdrawn the money that she's spent on me out of her own pocket since I've been in here. And I also want to make sure that she's thrown enough money into the tank of her car, because I'm 25 k's out from town, so she's done 2 trips out here. She's put 100 kilometres on her car. I want to make sure that petrol's back in her tank, because, you know, that's just me, you know. I know she's my daughter, and I know that she would do it for me, regardless of me offering to put the money back into a tank. But I want to make sure it's in there, because you've got to give back. And I just feel really bad taking anyway. So that's my next stop. And the next stop after that is I'm going shopping. And just pause that 1 second. And we're back. And all that was one of the workers coming in wanting to empty my bin. Like I said, I can't fault this place. So one of the things I'm going to do is give back. And while they seem to think I might be able to be giving back with these vlogs, which they seem to think might be able to help other people. And with the story that I'm going to write or have written, I'm going to condense that and get it typed up, and then put it into a smaller font, and then put some pictures behind it, and then send that back so it'll actually fit up on the wall, and it won't be so long. Well, it'll still be the same length, but it'll just take up less room. So, but the other thing I want to do is there's things missing in the kitchen. You know, there's utensils that need to be in that kitchen that aren't in that kitchen, and when I've gone wanting to cook, they're not there. Don't get me wrong, it for a kitchen for this kind of facility, it's quite well stocked, but there's just little things. So there's chopping boards, but they're shit. Uh, so, I have this list, and I've gone through this list of all of the things that if I was cooking and I was wanting to make whatever I wanted to make, what utensils are missing out of that kitchen that I can just grab and make a decent meal out of. So, there's no grater. Well, I'm going to fix that. There's going to be a grater, and a decent one. There's no steak knives. Now, while we can't have steak knives in the drawer for obvious reasons, they can keep them aside, just like they do the chopping knife, and hand them out when they're required under supervision. So if you're going to have a steak, you've got a steak knife to eat with. So steak knives are on the list. Chopsticks. We get tons of Asian food that come through from the prisoners or the prison officers' meals. And I hate eating Asian food with a fork. I don't know. I was taught at a young age how to use chopsticks, and I just prefer that if I'm going to be eating rice, noodles, meat chopped up that's mixed in with rice, etc. So like fried rice, Singaporean noodles, anything like that, I want to be using chopsticks. There's no chopsticks yet. There will be chopsticks. Next thing, decent chopping board. Right, so I already covered that one. What else off the top of my head? There's a few other things that are missing. Decent frying pan. Oh God, they've got a wok and they've got a small frying pan which is only like this big. That's not a frying pan. Right, so there will be a frying pan, proper frying pan, that you can cook a decent amount of stuff in. I'm just going to come back tomorrow with a little bit of a surprise package that's going to stay here. It's a two-part thing. First thing is, it's a thank you to the guys here for the care and the love and the goodwill that they've shown me. Because they have bent a few little rules, like I said, about the GoPro. I'm not meant to have it, but as long as I've observed a few stringent rules, they've let me have it, and it's now created something new that they never thought could have happened. And I can make put all these onto YouTube, send them the link, and they can use it later for other people that might be going through the same thing. And so there's a few things like that I want to give back. And the other reason is I want the next people that come through to have a much better stay. So again, not running the place down, it's quite well set up, but government funding is government funding, and as you know, it's not easy to get. So if these guys suddenly said, okay, we need a chopping board, we need a frying pan, and yada yada yada, I would hate to think the paperwork and the red tape they've got to go through to try and get this stuff. Meanwhile, I just go to Coles or Kmart and pick this stuff up, run it back out here, and boomski, there it is. Call it a donation, call it a legacy, call it whatever you will, but I just want to see people next time that follow me just have that slightly better stay. Am I going to miss this place? Definitely. Without a word of a doubt, I am going to miss being here. I had a lot of thought about whether I was going to take the offer of a couple of extra days of being here. Yes, I've got appointments set up for Monday and Tuesday with ASCA and mental health and my GP, but all of those could have been pushed back a couple of days if need be. And if I wanted to stay here an extra 1, 2, 3, 4 days, then I thought, am I going to get much more out of this being here another couple of days? Probably not. Probably what it would be is me hiding from the world, because very controlled environment here. At this stage, I've gone through the withdrawal process far enough that the meds that I'm on, there's nothing that I can't self-administer at home. There's no diazepam anymore, Valium. Naltrexone, which is what I've started. I'm going to be on that for, at least a month, probably, possibly 6 months. But I've got a week's supply when I walk out of here, and I see my GP on Mondays, so I'll simply get a script for that, and then it'll just become part of my daily tablets that I'm taking with my blood pressure medication. Thiamine, I'll get a script for that as well. And all thiamine does is it's going to help the damage that the alcohol's done to the receptors in the brain, that allows me to convert short-term memory to long-term memory a lot easier, and retain short-term memory easier when it's first put in there, going down to cognitive ability. So just the degree of being able to touch a specific point with a specific hand or a specific digit. So the way they test that is grab your left hand and touch your right earlobe, grab your right arm and put it on your left knee. And the quicker and the more coherent that you can do that, the better. The less damage they can pick up that your brain's had from all the alcohol abuse. But thiamine will help repair slowly some of that damage. Now, apparently I've got very good marks on those cognitive tests, so hopefully there's minimal damage there, but still, you want to keep taking this thiamine to build up all of those synapses that have been destroyed. So yes, I'm going to give back to the facility that way, and I know who's on the shift tomorrow in the day, so there's a few of the staff out of the 15 that I haven't met, and they're mainly the casuals that come out sort of just filling roles when the main guys here are either sick or away or on leave, etc. But I've met most of the guys, and so I know who's on tomorrow, so I want to come and surprise them with this little package. Also get them to show the bike, because they've seen pictures, and so I'll roll up on that and sort of show them what it is, because there's as I've already said, there's 2 staff members here, one that's just started his journey on motorcycling and one that wants to start, and it'd be really cool to roll up on the bike and let them have a sit on it and sort of see what they think, etc, etc. But after that, I am out into the wild blue yonder by myself. As I said yesterday's blog, I am totally dreading work. To tell you the truth, I don't think I'm going to handle it. If I walk in there Wednesday morning, I've got a very good feeling that it's not going to go down too well. I'm not going to cope. I'm going to have everyone looking at me like, where the hell have you been? And for those that do know where I've been, don't know whether I'm going to be subjected to disapproving looks, ridicule. You might not even be verbal. Like I said, it just has to be. It just has to be that look that says, "What the fuck? Why are you so fucking weak? Why haven't you been here for 2.5 weeks? We've been working our asses off, and now we're another person down. Why haven't you been here helping us?" That's what I'm dreading. And then, of course, the work itself. which is just, it's soul crushing. It wouldn't be so soul crushing if more people were hired, but just like everywhere, no one can find workers. I mean, I can't get on the BDR properly through the hospital because the person that would normally be processing that paperwork, there's no person there because short-staffed. You know, if the hospital's short-staffed, you know shit's turning to poo. But yeah. My takeaway, and this is going to be the last part of my blog. This will be my last blog. Unless I do a follow up tomorrow night or Monday night. I might actually even do a follow up on Monday night once I've been out for 2 days and I've seen my GP and mental health again, and sort of got an aspect from them about where I'm going to go. Yeah, I might actually definitely do a follow up on Monday evening at home. But this is a new chapter in my life. This is a brand new chapter in my life. This is me now going out and facing the world, 1, without alcohol, 2, without trying to do it without any of those negative thoughts that were dragging me into the place of despair where I was going to die. And while I think, and I categorically do think that alcohol was at least 50% of that probably. I'll find out on Monday when I really have the nitty-gritty discussion with my GP and the shrink. But and go from there. I'm walking out of here a new person, and I'm going to try and stick to that. I don't want to go back. I said this the other day. I want to go 3 steps forwards, not 2 steps forwards, 1 step back, or 2 steps, 1 step forward, 2 steps back. You know, I don't want any of that. I want it all forwards. And usually when I put my mind to something and I really apply myself, I do it. And I have every intention of following this through. And I'll let you know Monday evening how that starts progressing, because hey, I'll be 2 days outside of a very controlled environment. Who knows what's going to happen, you know. Sunday night, tomorrow night, I would have been home for probably the best part of 11 hours by myself by the time I do my blog, or, you know, if I do one tomorrow night. And how have I handled the first 11 hours of freedom? How have I handled walking into a house by myself where I'm alone and there's no one else there, and as opposed to here where, you know, no matter where I go, there's going to be a staff member. You know, I walk out of this room, and for me to walk out of this room or go to the toilet or walk around to the activities room or to the kitchen where I can eat, the staff room is right up the centre of the whole facility, and it's all windows. So, you know, the staff that are on duty can see me, I can see them, I know I'm not alone. If there's anything wrong, I can knock on any of those 3 doors, they'll come and talk to me. So there's just that help right there and then. When I get home, there is no help like that. I'm by myself, and yes, I have my medication, and yes, I've been progressing on my medication here, and I've been feeling very good today, mentally and physically. I just don't know how I'm going to handle that alone section, because it too was part of my depression, just bottling myself up. But the thing is, what I'm going to aim at now is not bottle myself up. So the first things I'm going to do is I'm going to go riding, and I saw one of my mates out paramotoring last night on our walk, and I'm going to ring him up, and I want to go out and just see if I can be ground crew, just so I'm around people. I want to go out and catch up with my motorcycle mates and go out and hit the road, or I want to go across and see my daughter and just spend an hour or two over their place, or them come over to see me. Go and visit my mother-in-law much more, because she's lonely and I really should spend more time with her. She's a lovely person. These things I have to work on. These things will stop me being alone. These things will mean that I come home and yes, the house is empty and I might go to sleep by myself and there's no one else in the house. But during the course of the day, I've been out and about socialising, connecting with people, seeing friends, talking to them. That is what I've lacked in the last 2 years. 2 years up until when I came in here. It was a gradual process, but during that process, pretty much every single one of my friends, after I put up on Facebook that I was going into hospital for mental health issues, every single person, apart from giving me their full support, which is amazing because I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting some people to make a derogatory comment or drag me down or say something bad, but no one did. And I want to be able to then make good connections with all of these people again, because they're all people I know in real life, and they're all people that I've pushed away over the last 2 years. So some of them got pushed away earlier than others, and that doesn't mean that I wasn't worse or better friends with them. It was just me not wanting to handle being around people. I just wanted to be by myself and hide in my own pit of despair, basically. And I've come to realise that, one, that's unhealthy. Two, it is definitely unhealthy. It's unhealthy to the point where I literally twice tried to kill myself. And when I've had those conversations with people who had no idea, their first reaction is just utter WTF, man. What the? I had no idea. And I said, no one had any idea. I wore a mask, and as Freddie Mercury quite said, I wear it with a grin, I'm never given in. Oh, the show must go on. I resonate with that, because he had a mask, and he wore a mask for the last 6 months of his life. He knew he was going to die, but he didn't want most people to see it. Went out with a bang. That was me. It's no longer going to be me. No, I'm going to be much more sociable. I was never a really sociable person, but I'm going to make sure that I actually stick my head out there and start doing things. And I'm going to busy myself making these vlogs into a nice little format on a YouTube channel, and I'm thinking I'm actually going to make a third YouTube channel and just put this on it, and have a link from my main YouTube channel to this one, just so that people that do follow the odd motorcycle stuff that I throw up, they can find their way here. And I'll be busy myself getting the story that I wrote into a format that the IWAS team out here can use. Making myself useful, basically. Giving back. I've received so much in the last 2 weeks from lots and lots of people that I need to give some back. And that's how the world works. Karma. What goes around comes around. You get help, you give some back. Well, guys, thanks for being there on the journey. I'll talk to you either tomorrow night, but definitely Monday night. Let you know how I've gone on the outside, and how, if I'm succeeding or if I'm sinking. And if I'm sinking, definitely that I've got lots of numbers to call. So I won't be sinking in a bad way. I might have a turn. I might feel distressed. I might feel whatever, but I've got a big backup plan, and I'm a big planner, and I'm one for making sure that all the I's are dotted and all the T's are crossed, and there's a big, massive laid out plan in front of me, so that I've got backups no matter what will happen. I'm going to make this. I'm going to fight it, and I'll win. Thank you.